They thought it was just another ordinary winter night. Within a few hours, however, their lives would become part of one of the most horrifying crime stories in modern American history. What happened that night shocked the entire nation and left a scar that would never fully heal. December 2000. The city of Wichita, Kansas was covered by the cold grip of winter. Christmas was only days away, and most people were focused on holiday preparations. Inside a quiet apartment, a group of young friends spent the evening laughing, talking, and enjoying each other's company. As the night grew darker, the streets outside became silent. None of the friends knew that danger was moving toward them. Two armed brothers were driving through the city searching for victims. What started as a plan for robbery would soon become something far more terrifying. Without warning, the intruders forced their way into the apartment. The atmosphere changed instantly. Laughter disappeared, and fear took its place. Armed with guns, the men quickly took control of everyone inside, leaving the victims helpless and terrified. At first, the victims believed it was only a robbery. They thought the criminals wanted money and valuables. But as the hours passed, it became clear that the nightmare was far from over. The attackers restrained their captives and demanded personal information, bank details, and cash. Time seemed to stop inside the apartment. Some of the victims silently prayed, while others fought back tears. Every minute felt like an hour. Nobody knew what the criminals were planning, but everyone feared the worst. In the early hours of the morning, the captives were forced outside into the freezing winter air. They were loaded into a vehicle and driven away from the city. The lights of Wichita slowly disappeared behind them as the vehicle headed toward an unknown destination. The journey felt endless. No one spoke. Fear filled the vehicle as the victims wondered whether they would ever see their families again. Eventually, the vehicle stopped in a remote, snow-covered field far from civilization. The captives were ordered out of the vehicle. The freezing wind cut through the darkness. Surrounded by snow and silence, they searched desperately for a way to escape. But there was nowhere to run, and no one nearby to help them. The attackers lined the victims up in the isolated field. A terrifying silence hung in the air. Then, the gunshots came. The sounds echoed across the frozen landscape. In a matter of moments, several innocent lives were lost forever. Believing they had left no witnesses behind, the criminals fled the scene. But they were wrong. Against all odds, one young woman had survived. Seriously wounded and lying in the snow, she faced a desperate battle for survival. Refusing to give up, she began moving through the freezing darkness. Every movement caused pain, and the cold threatened her life. Yet she continued forward. After what felt like an eternity, she spotted a distant house and struggled toward it. The residents immediately called emergency services when they saw her condition. Police rushed to the scene and launched a massive investigation. The survivor provided crucial information that helped investigators identify the attackers and bring them to justice. The case shocked the entire United States. During the trial, the survivor bravely shared her story, while the victims' families sought justice for their loved ones. The criminals were eventually convicted, ending one chapter of the tragedy. Yet the memory of that winter night remains a reminder of unimaginable cruelty and extraordinary courage. The survivors' determination ensured that the truth would never be buried and that the victims would never be forgotten.